All NEET aspirants, you are listening to podcast Botany for NEET by S. Ramakrishna. The topic plant growth is generally indeterminate. Generally indeterminate that refers to root and stem which grows to unlimited dimensions, indefinite growth. Plant growth is unique because it retains the capacity of division throughout the life. How it retains the capacity of division throughout the life? Because of meristems which are localized, confined to particular positions like apical meristems and lateral meristems. The meristem divide and self-perpetuate. It divide and retain the power of the division. What do you call self-perpetuate? Whatever the derivatives after division from the meristem, if it loses the capacity to divide, soon make up the plant body. That means it becomes permanent tissue. The cells which lost the power of the division become permanent tissue. So the cells added continuously to the plant body. What do you call the type of the growth? It is open form of the growth. The cells are continuously being added by the division of these meristematic cells. What do you call? Open form of the growth. If meristem ceases its activity, does it ever happen? It cannot be qualified to called as a meristem. Meristem, the function is it has to divide and produce the cells. Then only it is considered as a meristem. Otherwise, it is the permanent tissue. And these meristems, in case of apical meristem, root apical meristem, shoot apical meristem, which involved in increasing the length of the axis, and intracalary meristem, in case of the monocot like grasses, also increase the length of what axis. So apical meristem like root apical meristem, shoot apical meristem, intercalary meristem, which are primary meristem, contribute for the primary plant body. And there is a cambium between primary xylem and primary phloem within the vascular bundle. What do you call intravascular cambium or fascicular vasicular cambium? That is primary but contribute for secondary growth. So the lateral primary meristem contribute for secondary growth is intravascular cambium located within vascular bundle between primary xylem and primary phloem. So all primary growth contributing meristems are primary meristems, right? It depends upon the option, that is root apical meristem, shoot apical meristem, intercalary meristem. All primary meristems contribute for secondary growth. That is wrong. Intravascular cambium is also a primary meristem but do not contribute for primary growth, but it contributes for secondary growth. And the cambium formed in later in life of the plant body, what do you call secondary meristem? That is core cambium and vascular cambium. That vascular cambium is partly primary, partly secondary. Because vascular cambium formed by intravascular cambium within the vascular bundle and intervascular cambium between the vascular bundle formed by dedifferentiation of medullary ray parenchyma, that collectively what do you call vascular cambium. So overall vascular cambium partly primary, partly secondary. Core cambium it is completely secondary. These vascular cambium and core cambium contribute for secondary growth, which are lateral meristem. So all lateral meristem contribute for secondary growth, right? All secondary growth contributing meristems are lateral, right? All secondary growth contributing meristems are secondary. That is wrong. Primary meristem also contribute for secondary growth. All primary growth contributing meristems are primary only. Yes, it is primary only. All primary meristems contribute for primary growth. That is wrong. Because intravascular cambium is a primary meristem, contribute for secondary growth. The secondary growth is characteristic feature in case of the dicot as well as gymnosperm, root as well as stem. Next, the growth is measurable. We can measure the growth. We measure the growth generally more or less proportional to it than the previous size. And increase in the protoplasm is also a parameter, but not a direct parameter. It is difficult to measure the increase in the protoplasm as a direct measure. It is not a it is a parameter, but not a direct method. So there are other parameters to measure the growth like cell number, cell size, area, volume, weight, fresh weight, dry weight, which are all other parameter. Next, if we take root apical meristem of maize, a single root apical meristem in 1 hour, it forms more than 17,500 cells. So, cell growth in this refers to increase in cell number. Next, if you take watermelon, the size grows up to 3,50,000 times. In this, the growth refers in terms of the size. Pollen grows in length, that is in terms of the length. And if you take dicot leaf, the spreading of the leaf, increasing this varieties area is also a growth in case of, that is in terms of area. So which are all other parameters to estimate varieties the growth. In this the key point, what are apical meristems? What are lateral meristem? Lateral meristem otherwise called cylindrical meristems. Why it contribute for secondary growth? All primary meristems are apical, that is wrong. Intracardial meristem is not a apical. Root apical meristem, shoot apical meristem, intracardial meristem, intravascular archaea, which are all primary meristem. And lateral meristem contribute for secondary growth in case of dicot as well as gymnosperm. I am signing off from this episode. In next episode, we see the phases of the growth.